Can you all hear me? Am I audible? Okay, all right. Everyone there? Can all hear me? All right. So I'll ask you to say something. Will you say it? Yeah? Say ah. Very nice. Say ooh. Great. All right. So what we'll do is we'll start with a small chant. All right. Whatever I say, you say it. Understood? Right? Sahanavavatu Sahanau bhunattu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhita Mastu Ma vidvishavahai Shanti Shanti Shantihi. This is too hi-fi for me, all right? Lot of technology is there, right? So this podium is also very high here, isn't it? Right? So I wish we can all sort of come together, but okay, this is the arrangement at this point in time. It's good arrangement, nothing wrong with it. So, but one thing I want you to note is this, right? That I think they may introduce a lot of things, but I want all of you to note is that I'm just like you. Understand? That's the reality. Right. Okay. All right. So, some of you have already participated, right, in the activity last weekend. How many of you have participated? Raise your hands. All right. Did you enjoy it? Yes? Oh, very nice. Okay, very good. All right. So, what we'll do is, to start with, we will basically go over some experiences, right? So, for those of you who have not participated in that, what we did was, we had a 2-day entrepreneurship program, right? In which we had some rules. You can start any business. Okay, so so we had some rules. The rules were something like this. So basically, you can start any business, right? And you have to sell a product or a service, and you have to make a presentation at the end of the day. All right, so that was the whole exercise. Yes or no? Yes? So we had some really interesting things that came out of that particular exercise. So there were people, so one guy who did the Ayurvedic stuff. Who is the guy who did the Ayurvedic stuff? Both of you? Okay, very nice. We'll have something to discuss with you on that. So there were the soap guys. Where are the soap and the bucket guys? So those are the bucket guys. Speak out loud. You're saying something? No? Okay. And who else? There were the pen guys also. Where are the pen guys? Pen people. You're all distributed, so that's good. So you're here. So So those are some very interesting experiences. I would like the pen guys to come forward. Can you guys come forward? Just come on to the stage, please. Huh? Yeah, all of them can come. No, just the pen folks, the guys who did the pen, they had a pen product. Sell the product. Tell your names first of all to everyone.
Good morning. I'm Akshay from Green.
All right. So, when you did this, did you actually sell the product? No. Okay, got it. And so, did you make the product?
Yes, sir. We made a few, not many.
No, you made a few of them. Okay, got it. All right. So, okay, understood. So, give them a round of applause. All right. Any learnings you want to share? Please.
My learnings were making a very low investment product. Like, there were many papers in our. Actually, our product was to make a pen with a body made of paper. So we get many newspapers daily. So out of all the newspapers, where do all they go? After you finish your reading, where do all they go? They go to a corner of your heart, so you waste them. So instead of wasting them, we collected them and we made paper pens with body of paper, and the refill is obviously plastic. So we made paper pens, and my experience and the learning was making low investment products and to stay in the picture. Thank you, sir. It's an honor to share the stage with you.
Yes, sir. Great. Thank you, guys. We can go back. Yes. So now let's call the Ayurvedic guys. Yes. Hi. So go ahead. Mention your names first of all. Introduce yourself.
My name is Ajay.
My name is Bhashyam.
My name is Kanatiran.
Okay. Great. Excellent. So I think one of your father is an Ayurvedic practitioner or something. Your father? All right. Okay. So tell everyone what you did, what happened. How many buyers did you get? Just tell everything. Go ahead. Share it with everyone.
Sir, actually I got 29 to 30 product I sell, and I got a 920 rupees profit.
29 to 30 what?
I brought for 500.
Okay.
And I sell it around 520, 920 like that.
920 rupees you have sold. Who did you sell it to?
Sir, for students and teachers.
Students and teachers. Teachers also bought from you? Okay, that's very interesting. So what was the pill about?
Sir, it will free your throat and nose blockage, mouth freshener.
Okay, all right. Okay, so it's you already have it in your pocket. That's interesting. All right, that's good. All right, thank you. All right, I appreciate that. Okay. All right. Okay. This is a Baidyanath product, is it? Acha. Okay. So this is a pill and there's something. Okay. Excellent. Fantastic. So, so this is a product that works. So somebody, you are retailing it in a way, right? So, so how many people bought from you? The number of people who bought from you.
Means by
Number of people. So let's say you sold one to him. Okay. Then he'll become one person. If you sold it to a second person, there's a second person, and so on and so forth. How many people did you sell it to?
Sir, totally 40 to 30 months.
30 to 40 people. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good number. So 30 to 40 people actually purchased it, right? So from your point of view, you actually got this from some other place, right? So you got it from this particular company, and you made sure you sold it to these people. Correct? Yes or no? Okay, excellent. That's great. Okay, and you made a decent profit as well. Right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, sir. We have brought it and we have sell it, sir, with a profit of 400 or something.
430 rupees, something like that. It's pretty good, earnings, isn't it? All right. Okay. Excellent. So, guys, give a round of applause.
Whatever you will start, if it is very small or big, if you start, it is going to be success. Do not stop it. You have to keep keep on trying, you are going to reach the success.
Okay, okay. All right, great. Okay. So, good job, guys.
I want to meet you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. You guys can please proceed forward. Let us also meet the hygiene guys. Where are the hygiene guys? Please introduce yourself.
Myself, Neil from Greenhill. I am Shri from Greenhill. I'm Bhashyam from Greenhill.
Okay, you can keep that with you. So, did you guys sell something?
No, sir.
Not yet. Okay. So it's an idea, right? So I think it was you who made the presentation in that video, I think, right? And one of the things that you mentioned was, what was your learning? I think you were mentioning some learning there.
The market won't solve for us, so I learned that we need to make a small decisions in a short span of time. So that was a really nice experience I learned. And business is not just earning money; it's also a service.
No, how did you come to that conclusion?
Sir, because we see every time some people just do business for money and to growth in the career, but business is also service because when we serve the society, that's an achievement for us also.
Okay, it's an achievement, but how is it a service?
I mean, you see, sir, normally we sell things that are useful for kids, but we also sell things which will help in our life. I mean, like that, a product is a hygiene kit. So it maintains the neatness around you. It helps you in any problem.
Okay.
So like that.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. All right. So you guys can proceed at this point. Yeah. Well done, guys. A round of applause for everyone. One of the things that you can see here is that some of the folks actually also mentioned that hey, in execution you'll find success and so on and so forth. But a good chunk of us haven't actually executed, right? Execute means actually go ahead and sell, actually talk to people, right? Actually find out their problem, actually find and solve their problem and so on and so forth. In 2 days it's a little difficult, I understand, but if you are prepared you can quickly do it. See, the Ayurvedic guys, they did not start formulating after the beginning of the deadline on a Saturday, right? They already had it, you just had to sell the product, right? In a way, if you are prepared, then obviously when the time comes, it will all come together. You guys getting it? Okay, all right. So, so that is a sort of a quick recap of everything that we have gone through already. But I'll tell you the story. All right. There was once a young man. Okay. He was jobless. All right. He did not have any work to do. And he was on the roadside sitting. Okay. And then there was someone important who was like passing by. Okay. And those two people, I think there was another person, so this important person and another person, they were walking on the road. And the other guy asked this important person, what is the secret of your success? Okay. And that person replied, if you have the energy, if you have the willpower, you can convert anything into success. Okay. And then there was a dead rat on the street. Dead rat. It's not even a live rat. It's a dead rat. And he showed that dead rat and said, see, look at that dead rat. If there is a young person who is capable, he can turn that into a capital and the person can succeed. Okay? And this young guy, he heard that. And he did not understand what it was. But he anyway picked up the rat. Because this guy, he seems to know something, right? I don't know, but he seems to know something. So let me pick it up and let me see if it works. And then what he did was he picked up the rat and he didn't know what to do. Right? Some people have mice as pets. Sorry, not mice, cats. Cats as pets. You know that, right? Cats. There was one such person. He was like walking by. Okay? And he had a cat in his hands. It was his pet. And the cat saw the mouse. Okay? And then obviously it wanted it. When it wanted, the guy figured out that it's looking for the mouse. And then he called this guy and said, see, I'll give you, let's say, 5 rupees. Okay? Will you give me the dead mouse? He said yes. He said yes. And he exchanged the dead rat, dead mouse, whatever it is, and then he got 5 rupees in his hands. Okay? So now he has 5 rupees in his hands. Now what does he do with this? He has no idea what to do with this, right? He went around and then there he found a shop that sells jaggery, right? So, and then he took the jaggery and he went to a place, right, where people are thirsty, right? People need something after working, in the fields they were working. So, some people wanted, the jaggery. And he exchanged the jaggery, right, with something they had, which is the produce, right? So now see what's going on. And yeah, okay, after that, me? Okay, all right. Okay, so he exchanged that. So already from dead rat, he has already converted into capital, right? Now what he did, he took that and he produced some sort of a soft drink of sorts, right? And then he went to the fields where he can then sell this to them, and so on and so forth. And over a period of time, he had actually become successful. Successful as in he has, good living, right? And he has all his, whatever, all his, he's seen as successful in the society, right? Have you guys read this story before? Yes. Right? Many of you would have read this story, right? And you have, the story itself is not new to you. But what I can tell you is that is true. Okay? It is really true that, with almost nothing, you can actually become a successful person. At least wealthy person you can become. There are many other things in the life that you have to figure out, right? But the wealth part of it can be easily figured out. Okay, all right. So let us first talk about, do you know Gautam Adani? Have you heard? Adani you would have heard, right? Can anybody tell anything about him? Second in the world. Do you know his story? No? He had left his home when he was 15 or 16. Do you know how much he carried away from his house? Almost nothing. And now he has become the world's second richest person. Okay? So, do you see the dead rat story becoming true? Yes or no? Right, he had nothing, now he's a wealthy person. So he has, he has a great business and so on and so forth. Okay, all right. So, do you know about Dhirubhai Ambani? Have you heard the name? Yes, right? Dhirubhai Ambani. Mukesh Ambani's father, correct? Yes, excellent. So, take Dhirubhai Ambani. So, do you know his past? Right? It is said, I did not check this, right? It seems that at one point in time, he was an assistant in a petrol bunk. Right? You go to a petrol bunk, somebody fills up your tank, he was that person. Right? And now he became, I would say, a very successful businessman, very respected businessman in our country. Yes or no? Huh? And of course, Mukesh, he is carrying forward his father's legacy, right? And he's like reinventing Reliance Industries in a new way. Yes or no? Huh? Yeah, okay. All right. So, what we'll do now is, see, you have all seen Shark Tank, right? And you like Shark Tank? Right? How many of you have watched Shark Tank? At least one clip? Lots of you, right? It's very good, isn't it? Why is it good? Getting new ideas. That's an important piece, because you wouldn't know that, hey, we can do like this, right? Some smart products are there, right? And you think, oh, this can also be a product, something like that. Huh? What else? Sorry? Encouraging people. Okay, so it is an encouragement for you. You can look at it and say, oh, see, I can do this. You feel motivated. That's what you're saying. Okay, all right. Sorry? You can actually make it, right? So that's what they're saying. Okay, that's good. All right. So, we'll actually do a small exercise. So, the exercise is something like this. I would like one volunteer. You can come. You already came once, so why didn't you sit down? I'll ask someone else who has not come. You can come. Please come. So, let's take this pin, right? This is a pin, all right? So, this exercise, I'll put it here, all right? All right. I know you cannot see the pin. It's all right. Doesn't matter. Huh? You come here. The exercise is, you're a volunteer, okay? Huh? So, all right. You jump over it. Very good. Nice. Right? So, good. He finished the exercise, man. This is good. Now it's going to get a little more complicated. Huh? All right. Okay. So I'm going to just rearrange this. Please don't mind, organize that. You did a very good job by jumping. Just jump over this. You cannot jump right now? Okay. Hold on. No, that's also required. All right, let's see if we can do this. How to. How about now? Can you jump now? You cannot jump. Okay, all right. Great. That's it. Good job, guys. Go ahead. You can go back now. You can go back. So why did we do this? Right? When there was a small pin, right, and we kept it there, he could easily jump. But when we had this, right, he could not jump. At least he needed a lot of practice. If I had told them we will stack up 5 tables one top of the other, then you had to jump over it. Will he be able to do it? It is not easy. So why am I saying these things, right? It is because, see, typically the glamour part of it, which is, oh, we made a deal in Shark Tank, right? So every time a deal is made, it means that somebody is investing and the bar that you have to jump is higher than before. Getting it, everyone? So we have to just shake that off a little bit, right? And the exercise we did last week was also related to this, that we would, shake off some of that glamour and get to the reality, right? Reality, so I'm sure many of you, whenever you went, right? So take the Ayurvedic guys, for example, right? You had to explain to everyone, yes or no? What does it do? You have to explain it to everyone, right? And there's a lot of work involved in the process. All right, so let's do this. We will have So Samita, are you ready to make your presentation? Huh? Just be ready. First of all, let's talk about why start a business. So that's what many of you have done. Why start a business? So an entrepreneur is a person who basically has an idea, okay, a product or a service, right? And then he or she sells the product or service, and with that the person also makes a living, right? So this is the crux of entrepreneurship. So where are entrepreneurs? Where are entrepreneurs? Everywhere. That's a great answer to that. So let's take a small example to start with, all right? So do you have anyone, see typically, see if you look at, many of you may have relatives who have very young children, like 1 year, 1.5 years, yes, right? So what does the child drink? Milk, right? Milk. You guys also drink milk, I would assume, right? But if you don't, actually, the elders give you and then you drink it, that's fine. But 1 year child, does the person actually cries for milk? Yes or no, right? And if milk is not there in that household, what will happen? So, sorry? Oh, the child will be crying, right? And the parents, you cannot even hold them. They need milk, very urgent they need milk, right? So, what does the milkman do now? The milkman actually gets the milk. They actually maintain cows, buffaloes, whatever they are, right? They feed the buffaloes, right? Cows. Then what else do? They clean it, right? They milk them, right? They get milk. They keep it clean, and milk also gets spoiled very quickly, right? In about let us say 3/4 of a day, right? The milk will be spoiled unless you store it properly, right? So they make sure that it is stored properly. They bring the milk. They maybe package it as well, and they come and deliver it to your house. You see this? They come and deliver it to your house, and then you actually use the milk whichever way you would like to, right? Okay. So that is a business person as well. Yes or no? He is also an entrepreneur. Yes or no? All right. So just exploring this a little further. See, take Amul as an example. You all like Amul? Lots of good products they have, isn't it? So what do we do with Amul? So Amul is actually a cooperative, right? Cooperative means it is not just, so there are lots of farmers, and there is an organization that collects all the milk together, right? And they store the milk, transport the milk, and they are now in the stores nearby you where it says milk, right? So that's where they have the packets and so on and so forth. All right? Understood? So is Amul a business? Yes, a business. So every activity that we have, right, is a business, right? And there is an entrepreneur behind it who is standing by making sure that things work. All right? Okay. So let's do this first of all. I think some of you have woken up very early in the morning today. Yes or no? Yes? You all went on rounds? Yes? So I'm sure some of you are feeling a bit sleepy. Yes or no? No, it's all right. Some of you. We have to acknowledge facts, all right? Right. So, whoever is awake, say, I'm awake. I'm awake. Oh, all right, that's great. full disclosure, she is my daughter. She has done one such experiment in the past, okay? And she's going to walk you through what is it that she has done. Just like what you guys have done, she has also done another exercise, not now, but a few years ago. She'll share her experience with you now, okay?
Startup was a kit where it enables you to make your own physics unit. I made this in 2017 when I was 8. Inside the kit you had ball bearings, you had adhesive, you had sandpaper and something to decorate the physics. We had sold around 2,600 rupees worth of kits. Each was priced at 199.
No. Total amount is that?
For gated communities around where I live, and we found that children expressed the most interest in buying the kits.
Yes.
These are pictures of me selling it. One person was very keen to buy it. He came to our house to buy the kit. The experience I had was I had to stand there for a very long time, and my feet ached at the end of it. It took a lot of time to set up each box individually, and I had to teach the same thing again to everybody, and I improvised each time. My learnings were that because people did not play with fidget spinners for too long, we had a little bit of stock left, and nobody obstructed me from setting up the stall, and people encouraged me to do it. Footfall is important for a business, and we had set it up in a gated community where limited people would come. If we set it up in a place where more people would come, then we probably would have sold the entire thing. And you have to set a price which is appealing for your customers, which is low enough so that your customers will buy it, but also leaves you with enough margin for yourself. And there was nothing in the kit that was proprietary, which meant that people could copy what was in it very easily.
After studying electrical engineering at IIT Bombay, Nandan Nilekani decided to look for a job.
And I was very fortunate that I met Mr. Narayan Murthy, who at that time was the head of Patni Computer Systems. We said we should start our own software company, which practiced high standards of corporate governance. And that led to the foundation of Infosys. And I was a director of the company from day one. We grew the company from the 7 people who began it to 100,000 people. Today it's worth $40 billion, but it's India's first startup. So I learned the power of how if there's a big idea and a small group of committed people, how much they can achieve.
Always someone who thought deeply about his country's future, Nandan Nilekani wrote a book called Imagining India, and an idea that would revolutionize India was born: the Aadhaar number.
The Indian government had been also looking at an ID system for every Indian resident, and then the Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, invited me to take charge of this project. I left Infosys, started my job as chairman of the UIDAI with a mandate to give 1 billion people an Aadhaar number. And for this, we assembled a crack team of bureaucrats as well as people from the private sector. I had promised that in 5 years we would reach 600 million people with an Aadhaar number. We actually reached that in 4.5 years. And today it's the foundation for everything that's going on in government.
Most people would have been satisfied with this, but Nandan Nilekani had more to contribute, helping a nation of 1 billion people go cashless.
I helped to design the unified payment interface. That is a very sophisticated mobile-to-mobile payment interface. 600 million people in India who have the phones can easily transact using the technology which is out there.
Nandan is a combination of a great visionary and a great executor. He's thinking years and decades ahead.
A recipient of the Padma Bhushan, Nandan Nilekani has played various pioneering roles in improving the future of India.
One of the things I do today is promote the startup ecosystem. I work with an organization called iSpirit. There I guide these entrepreneurs on strategy, scaling up. If India is to succeed, it will be through innovation. And innovation is going to come from having thousands of young companies with visionary founders who dream of doing things in a way that was not possible earlier.
Ladies and gentlemen, EY Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement winner, Mr. Nandan Nilekani.
Mr. Narayan Murthy, correct? And so he became the chairman of the company. He's currently the chairman of Infosys as well, okay? And so if you look at what he has done, so he has started along with others, right? I think total of 7 people have started. And so he has 7 people. Do you know how big the company is at this point in time? I think somewhere around, it is in multiple lakhs for sure. Those are the number of employees that the company has at this point in time. So, and also, he's also known as the CTO of the country, Chief Technology Officer of the country, because, after he had become the chairman of Infosys, he left that, and then he went ahead and started this organization on invitation from the then Prime Minister, and then the Aadhaar card that we have, that we give, right, for everything, for phone number to everything, was made possible by Mr. Nandan Nilekani, okay? So in addition to that, so he has also made possible the UPI. Do you guys use UPI, right, for payments, right? So that thanks to Mr. Nandan Nilekani. So I think the entrepreneurship goes beyond just making money, sort of surviving and so on and so forth. If you can think big, you can actually help a country of 1 billion people, right? And credibly lift their day-to-day living. And it's a very good example. It may not be quote-unquote business, but it is the same kind of a thinking that goes into making all of this happen. All right, great. Is it making sense? Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Right, but he's a great person, no? That's clear? That is very clear. All right, great. Okay. So now let's do this. I would also like to show you one more video, all right? And we'll go and explore some of the other aspects.
If there's one person whom every startup enthusiast idealizes, then it is none other than Ratan Tata, who is one of the most successful business persons in the world. He always believed that if you do what you've always done, you'll only get what you've always had. So, think differently. Well, the same can be said about the success of Ratan Tata. Today, we talk about the journey of Ratan Naval Tata and how he inspired millions to follow his style of work. Ratan Tata was born on 28 December 1937 to Naval Tata and his wife Sonu, younger brother Jimmy and a step-brother named Noel Tata from his father's second marriage to Simon Tata. When he was just 10 years and his brothers just 7, their parents got separated. Both the boys were raised by their grandmother, Lady Navajbai Tata in Mumbai. Ratan Tata finished up school at Cathedral and John Kennan School. After that, he went on to study in Cornell University, where he got a BS degree in Architecture and Structural Engineering in 1962. He then went to Harvard Business School for a degree in the Advanced Management Program in 1975. Well, since his childhood, Ratan Tata was always interested in cars. He started his career in the year 1960 in the Tata Group. In the beginning, he worked as a general worker in Tata Steel, but his success story speaks for itself when we see his rise in the ranks of J.R.D. Tata, who resigned from his chairmanship of Tata Group and made Ratan Tata as his successor in 1991. This decision was criticized by many, as Ratan Tata was not sufficiently experienced at that time. But with his impeccable leadership skills, Tata Group reached new heights to become a global brand across the world. The group acquired many big brands under his leadership, such as Tetley, Jaguar, Land Rover, Coders, among others. Tata Consultancy Services, also known as TCS, was built under the vision of Ratan Tata's leadership. Later, the launch of Tata Nano and Tata Indica was a direct result out of his interest in cars from childhood. Tata Nano today is the cheapest car in the world. He wanted every Indian to own a car, and hence he built Tata Nano to fulfill their dreams. Later, after taking company to greater height, Ratan Tata resigned from all his responsibilities in the year 2012. He resigned on his 75th birthday, and his responsibilities were transferred to Cyrus Mistry, son of Palonji Mistry and MD of Shapoorji Palonji Group. Ratan Tata is currently chairing Emeritus of Tata Sons. He also continues to serve as a chairman of some of the major trusts of Tata Group. He has also been a member of the Prime Minister's Council in Trade and Industry. While during his course as a businessman, Ratan Tata received many awards and recognitions across the world. He first received Padma Bhushan in the year 2000 for his tremendous work done throughout his life building the Tata Empire. He also received the prestigious honorary Padma Vibhushan in the year 2008. He received the honorary Doctor of Laws by York University in Canada in 2014. Though Ratan Tata was earlier judged to have risen because of his surname, the world saw Tata Group rise to new horizons through his excellent vision and leadership as the empire reached the top in the Indian economy. A true businessman with a clear strategy, vision and commitment, Ratan Tata stands as an example of true success achieved with what it takes.
So, but let us think something. So, see, the Milkwala is also an entrepreneur. Nandan Nelikini is also an entrepreneur, right? So, why is it that these people are like this? You know, some are small, some are big, right? So, you all want to become big entrepreneurs or small entrepreneurs? Big entrepreneurs, right? But what's the difference? What's the difference between a big entrepreneur and a small entrepreneur? Scale. Scale. So he's asking for scale. Can somebody bring a scale? How wide is it? Right? So here I want to do a small experiment with you guys. So any other volunteer who wants to come? Right, you can come. Okay, great. So what I'll do is I'll give this thing to him, right? What he's supposed to do is he's supposed to blow into it and make it very big. Is that fine? Did you understand what we are trying to do? Okay, go ahead. Here it is. You blow into it, and the response, the ultimate result that we are looking for is that it has to grow big. Go ahead. Your time starts now. Try, no. Try. It's all right. It will not. So you seem to know it. Okay. So here it is. All right. Now you try it. Ah, nice. Okay, done. All right, you can leave it. Great, perfect. All right, great. So what did we learn from here? See, if you look at it, I think our friend was also talking about scaling up, right? See, there is a popular terminology that some businesses are dwarfs, okay? They are made like marugu juice, small ones, but there are others which can scale big, right? What is the difference? Where does the difference come? So let's take, do you guys like Pani Puri? Is there anybody here who doesn't like Pani Puri? You don't like Pani Puri? Okay, this is not for you. You don't have to listen to this. Just joking, all right? So, all right, so most of us like Pani Puri, right? So if you look at how many really big Pani Puri stalls did we see, which employs, let's say, 1,000 people. Do you know any? Most of the Pani Puri stalls that you have seen, how many people do they employ? One or two, right? Many of them have just one, right? The whole investment into everything that he prepares is probably about 1,000 rupees, maybe 2,000 rupees, right? Yes or no, right? I mean, the stand that he has, the basket that he has, right? And all the, the puris that he brings and the aloo and all of that put together. Yes or no, right? So what is it? So we just saw Tata Group. How big is Tata Group? Huh? Tata Group, lakhs of people are employed in the Tata Group, right? Just the TCS alone, right? Some of your parents might be working in TCS, right? So it employs, multiple lakhs of people. So what's the difference between the two? I think that is something that we have to understand, because this is what goes into thinking which business should I pick up, which product should I pick up, and so on and so forth, right? So let's stay with Pani Puri because it is tasty, all right? So what is the nature of Pani Puri? Right? The nature of Pani Puri, I'll tell you, right? The nature of Pani Puri is that you have to get those puris, right? And the puris have to be fresh. Yes or no? If we take day before yesterday's panis, the puris, we can easily make out, right? And the taste will not be good enough, correct? And of course aloo has to be fresh. Yes or no? Aloo also, after you cook, how long will it last? You may not know it, right? Maybe about a day and a half, something like that. I don't know even if it stays for a day and a half, maybe something like that, and then it will spoil. This is the nature of all food, by the way. It's not just with Pani Puri, but here also it's the same case, right? And where do we sell Pani Puri? On the street. Many of the times it is on the street, which means you have to be physically, you have to be there, right? You have to be there, and at each place one individual, right? As of now, if you look at it, so Pani Puri has no like branded presence, right? It is not like you have, maybe Haldiram's has a Pani Puri masala, right? Masala, because masala you can store it, right? But Pani Puris you cannot store. Yes or no? Yeah? Right? So and then you have to be at various locations, and how much is each person willing to pay? How many, sort of these days each plate costs maybe 20-30 rupees, something like that. That's a very reasonable amount, of which you will get a little bit of a margin and so on and so forth, right? So because of this, it is difficult to scale this, because you have to make all of these things happen. But masala, on the other hand, masala can be stored and it can be shipped to all the various stores we have nearby, and it can be sold. We can come and pick it up whenever we want, right? So the masala business has in a way scaled or has become big, right? But not necessarily the Pani Puri itself. It has not scaled up at this point in time. But if you look at it, there are also people who are trying to scale businesses like this. So for example, you can see there are chai stalls that are becoming branded at this point in time. Have you noticed that? Right? Sorry? Tea time, right? So there are people who are saying, okay, it is the model, I understand, but what I will do is I will have some regulations, some rules as to how things should work, what product should be sold, how neatness should be, and etc. And then they will franchise this. So from our point of view, if we see, let us say, the thing that you mentioned, right? Then you'll say, okay, I can expect this. So you can have that kind of thing in mind. And so they are trying to scale it in that way. However, what I want you to notice is this important stuff coming up. All right. So what people are doing, you saw our friend who has blown into the bolt, right? So there are many businesses which are trying to expand, right? They think they can expand, but what they are actually doing is they are trying to blow into something like a bolt that does not scale. You guys getting it? Right? These are actual big people. You think when I grow up, yes, I'm going to know everything, but it's not going to be the case, right? Because you got to know you are dealing with a bolt, right? You're dealing with a bolt, and that it doesn't expand. But the nature of a balloon is different, isn't it? Right? The moment you are able to blow into it, it easily expanded. The nature of these things is different. So you got to understand what is the nature of what you are dealing with. right? If you know what you're dealing with, you got to have your eyes open. See, many of you are sleepy. Right? Because you woke up a little bit early. It's all right. So where were we? We were with Pani Puri, right? And we also said TCS, IT companies, right? That's what we were thinking. All right. So one thing I want to tell you is, see, there is definitely a difference, right? Is there a difference between the nut and the balloon? There is a difference. So when you act on it, it acts differently. The result is different. Yes or no? Yes. Similarly, the entity, the business that you're dealing with is different. The nature is different. So what you have to do is you have to understand what is the nature of that particular whatever you're dealing with. And when you do that, then you'll be able to, scale if the business allows you to scale. Clear? All right. Okay. So let's stay with the same concept a little further. All right. So so let's. So there is. I'm just thinking of an example for you guys. Have you guys used Uber? You have used Uber? So there is Ola as well, right? Those are the two ones. But sorry? Rapido is also there. There are a few others that have come up, right? So let us take, for example, is there anybody here who uses the same service again and again? For example, let's say if you use Uber, you tend to use Uber again and again. Maybe your parents, whenever they have used. Has this happened to you? Right, go ahead, give respond, go ahead, yourself. Yeah, you, the spectacles guy, go ahead. Speak up. Use Uber a lot. Okay, example. So the reason, actually let me just tell you, so how many of you here are in this particular school, let's say for 5 years? 5 years, okay. A few of you guys, right? Okay. See, school is another example of, you can sit down please, yeah, of where once you make a decision, right, you don't want to be changing it unless it is necessary. Yes or no? Right? So people tend to stay on to one particular school for a reasonable amount of time unless you are like going from that particular place to some other place or something like that. Okay, so so many of the services that you might be using, you're all in school, you may not be dealing with many outside services, but so there is a tendency to use the same thing again and again because for example pens, so you guys may be using pens, right? You like one kind of a pen and you want to buy another pen which is also the same model so that you can continue writing with it. Yes or no? Right? Natraj pencils, for example, erasers, etc. Do we do that? Yes or no? So one thing I want you guys to notice is, let's take the Pani Puri example again. Right? In the Pani Puri example, so there may be some guy who is nearby to our house, right? We go there, we buy Pani Puri and we come out, right? After that you have come to school now. School is let's say 10 kilometers away. Right? You feel like eating Pani Puri. What do? You go to a nearby Pani Puri center. You don't go back to that old Pani Puri center, go 10 kilometers and eat it from there. Yes or no? Now let's look at it from the Pani Puri center's point of view. Right? See, obviously he would like the same customers to come back again and again. Yes or no? Right? However, you have come to school, now you don't want to go back, you will just go nearby because you can easily replace that Pani Puri with this Pani Puri. It is not exactly same, but you are more or less happy with it. Yes or no? Right? So, let's take another example. Let's take the school for now. Right? We are in school, we'll take the school example. Right? So today in the morning, let's say you woke up, you're feeling a little different today, right? Will you say, I don't want to go to this school, I'll go to a different school? Why? Why? You got admitted into the school.
I think Sai Darshan can answer this question. Sai Darshan, you are the right person to answer this question. Take the mic. We always want to bring this down.
Okay. All right.
So it's not a big issue to change.
Oh, it's not a big issue to change. Okay, got it. Sit down, it's fine. All right. Okay. So what happens is, see, your parents have admitted, and typically the admission is for 1 year, right? And if you get an opportunity to change, it is after the expiry of 1 year and before another academic year starts. That's when you have the window of opportunity, right? But until then, you generally stick to one school unless like your parents are moving or something like that. You get what I'm saying? So the point that I'm making here is very, very important. Okay? So you have to evaluate the stickiness of the business with the customer, right? So you are sticky, yes or no? Right? So from your point of view, you don't want to, sort of keep changing, right? So whatever businesses that have that stickiness, right? Those are the businesses that can scale, because the customer keeps coming back to the same business again and again, right? Every time the customer comes back, they pay, and your inventory goes out or your service is provided, and so on and so forth. Are you guys getting it? Yes? Does the Pani Puri guy have stickiness? His hands may be sticky, that's a different thing, right? But his business is not sticky, right? But when you have stickiness, right, the business grows. So let me connect this back to, let's say, the Infosys example or the TCS example that I gave before. So they have, I think the last I knew, I think TCS has 650,000 employees. 650,000 employees. We have to just count the number of digits in that. Alright, those many employees are there, and they are serving, assuming on a, per customer they have, let us say, 100 employees who are working, right? 100 employees that are working, right? They have 6,500 customers that they are serving on an ongoing basis. Big number, yes or no? Yeah, very, very big number, because IT companies, you may not necessarily understand this at this point in time, but I'll just tell you this, you just keep it in your mind, which is that, see, IT companies, so what do? They write programs. I'm sure you would have also written some programs. When you write a program, right, you may write 1 page, 2 pages, etc. These guys write, books, write 1,000, 10,000 lines of code and so on and so forth. There, it is that particular employee who knows how this code is written. Okay, so if the customer goes to a different vendor, then they have to start all over. They have to start reading the whole code, understand the whole thing. They may not, some of them may not even understand, and they may actually come back to the same company a little later. Okay, this is the stickiness that IT companies have that many of the other companies do not have. That is why if you notice the largest companies in this country, they are IT services companies at this point in time. Getting it? Okay. So the moral of the story, if you want me to say so, evaluate the stickiness of your business, because that is going to determine whether you are eventually going to succeed or not. Got it? Okay, great. All right. Let's move further. All right. See, many times, whenever you watch Shark Tank, right? There are people in it who tell you, don't leave, you must stay on. Yes, right? Oh, it is very important to stay on. There is no doubt about that, right? So, so it is very important to persevere, right? Because some conditions, when the right alignment of various things happen, right? Suddenly the business may work very well. I'll give you an example so that you'll understand what I'm talking about, okay? So we all are very happy to be here, right? We can all touch each other also. There's no problem. There's no COVID at this point in time. Yes or no? Right? Happy? Right? I think we should give a round of applause because COVID is more or less gone. Right? No online classes, right? No staring at something. Now we can, interact like this and so on and so forth. So that's a great thing. All right. So now, so in the beginning, right, when COVID just came, lockdown was announced, right? So how many of you bought either a computer or a tablet? How many of you? See, look at the number of hands. This is about 60%, I would say, right? Others did not buy it because they already had one at home. That's the reason why they did not buy. But what happened? Think of, you can please lower your hands. So think of all there were lots of companies that would rent these mobiles, rent the tablets, rent computers and so on and so forth. Do you know what happened to them? Do you know what happened to them? Suddenly their entire inventory was gone, right? They sold, whatever they could sell, and then they bought new computers, right? And then they started, renting those out. They were completely full. All the laptop companies, right? Because everybody needed computers, isn't it? So their demand went up suddenly. So similarly, now we are seeing the reverse of it, right? So these days, many of you may have bought shoes after reopening, yes or no? Because you don't have the old shoes were like too small for you, etc. So now there's a reverse. So in any case, market conditions keep changing, right? And when these conditions keep changing, if you know what the condition is going to be next year or the year after, and if you can plan for it now and execute it, then suddenly you may do really well. That's very much a possibility. Okay, that's very much a possibility. But did you see many times, in Shark Tank it happens that somebody comes, right? So the person makes a pitch and nobody has invested. Nobody has invested. There are like 5, sometimes 6 or 7 sharks also, but none of them have invested. They typically come back, right? And they have a small time where they can say, and what do they say? It doesn't matter whether sharks have invested or not. I don't mind. I'll keep continuing. Yes or no? Right? They say all of this. So while perseverance is very, very important, I don't want to downplay the importance of perseverance. It's extremely important, right? At the same time, what we'll do now is we're going to do a small experiment, right? So the experiment, if you are able to succeed in this experiment, right, you will get 50,000 rupees. 50,000 rupees. All right? Okay. All right. So each of them, so Samhita, you start from here, you go from there, right? So they would give you, Samhita, you can give it, no problem. So, yes, yeah. So each of you, not everybody, there are just a few here, right, will get a nut and a bolt. Okay? All right, let me just explain this. All right, okay, only 7 to 8 are there at this point in time. So you can go back, that's fine, you're done, you can go back. So, what you're supposed to do, the guys who got it, right? So, you're supposed to fit the nut and bolt together. So, you try it, you have each one take about 15 seconds, something like that. If you are not able to, pass it on to the next person, right? And I want everybody to try. Don't keep it for more than like 10, 15 seconds, okay? Each of you try it. You pass it on, pass it on. Once you are done, you pass it on. Let's see who succeeds. Keep passing it on and make sure that everybody gets it, okay? Keep passing it on. If you are not able to do it, then give it to someone else who has not tried before. Huh?
The type of the same is on the top of this.
Okay.
Can we call it as it is fixed in this?
No. I gave this to you, isn't it? You have to fix it here, my dear. Go ahead, give it to someone else, please. They get the nut and the bolt. Anyone who has not tried, raise your hand. Anyone who has not tried, raise your hand. Okay, make sure the person gets it, please. Just try it, so you get your hands on it. All right, please pass it on. Yes. You all got it? Right? Keep moving. Who has not tried yet? Raise your hand. Everyone has tried? Is there anyone who has not tried? Okay, the people who now have... Anyone? Everyone has tried? Right? Everyone has tried? Okay, excellent. The folks who now have the nut and the bolt, stand up. Understood. That's good, okay? Whoever has the nut and the bolt, just stand up, please. Okay, you guys come. Okay, now the experiment is done. You please keep standing, all of you guys. So there are more. Now you please pass this along to them, all right? So just share and make sure that they get it. Okay, there's one more here, excuse me. There's one more, yeah, you can please. So the experiment is over, guys, okay? For the new one, there is no prize, all right? For the new one that I'm giving, I'll be at loss. Now you are able to do it? Now you are able to fit it? Great, everyone? Yes? Done? Now you are able to fit it? So now, right, let them finish. Done? All right, very good. Sit down. You can sit down. If you are done, please sit down. All right. Okay. So you still are waiting for it? Done na? Sit down. Take your seat, please. All right. Okay. Now, see, now we have understood, right? So we are trying to fit it. It didn't work. Now here, that is something we have to get, right? See, whenever the person came back, right? No deal kind of a situation, right? So what, some of them, so you have that ring bell or something where the person did not take the deal and he eventually went out and became far more successful, etc. But many of them, the sharks tell the participants that, we are not interested in investing in this particular product or this particular company, and that some of them, they actually tell, okay, so this is a dead product, I'm not interested, whatever, they keep saying that. But the individual then comes out, okay, and then says, no, I am going to persist, I am going to, no matter what people tell, I am going to go forward, right? What they're actually doing is, it is like the nut and the bolt that don't fit. And the guy keeps on trying, right? Without even changing anything, they keep trying. So what this tells us is that, so either you have to change the product or the service so that it fits, or you have to make sure that the market, you have to understand the market and adapt your product or service to it so that it can become successful, right? Just simply going blindly, without adequate, changes is not a good idea. All right? Clear, everyone? Clear? Yeah? Okay, all right. So we'll now move to the next. We'll conduct another small experiment. Are you guys interested in more experiments? Good way to learn, huh? Right? We can actually learn something fun. All right? So, who wants to volunteer now? Right? He's the first guy. You come here. You can come onto the stage. What's your name?
Pavan sir.
Pavan. All right, great, excellent. So Pavan, let's conduct a small experiment, all right? So let's assume for the time being that you have something in your body that you want to get rid of, okay? I don't want you to fall sick, okay? It's only an experiment. Is it okay? Huh? It's all right, right? Fine, okay. So what we'll do is, so let's assume you have something over here, inside your body that needs to be plucked out, removed. Surgically, it has to be removed. Huh? Now, there is a doctor nearby, right? He's a good person, very good guy, all right? But what happens is, once in a while, is the situation clear to everyone? Situation is clear? Right? So you can think of him as yourself. Clear? So there is something near your heart, right, that needs to be taken out. All right? So there's a doctor nearby. He's a very good guy, very nice person, all right? So what he does is, but once in a while there's a small problem with him, right? So the problem is, when he's doing surgery, right, instead of picking the other stuff that is not required, he takes out the heart. Is that okay with you? No, it's not okay with you. All right? Is that okay with any of you guys? No, right? So you want a doctor who picks up the unnecessary stuff and keeps the necessary stuff, right? Okay, all right. So this is one example. So let's take another example. All right? We'll do another example. We'll reduce the stakes. Is that fine? We'll reduce the stakes a little bit. Okay. The second one is something like this. So same again. Pavan, you're Pavan, right? Yeah, Pavan. So let's say your dad gave you his mobile phone, okay, for repair. All right. So you know a repair person nearby, right? So what he does is, he's also a very nice guy, by the way, okay, very nice guy. All right. But when you go and give him the parts, right? So for repair, basically, he knows what is, what is not working, etc. Sometimes he knows, maybe sometimes he doesn't know, right? He'll charge you good amount of money, and he may replace a part that is actually working properly and leave the, the part that is not working as it is. Is that okay with you?
Okay, sir.
Hmm?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Because it is not needed, sir.
Oh, no. See, there is a part that is not working. The part is not working. The part needs to be replaced. But what he does is, he replaces a part that is already working, and the part that is not working, he'll keep it as it is, and he'll also charge you money.
No, sir. Because he must make it work.
He must make it work. Oh. One thing is, with your heart, you don't want to take panga. That is very clear. That's very clear. But with mobile also, you don't want to take panga. Right? Because you don't want scoldings from your father. Right? All right. Let's take a third example. Let's take a third example. Uber. We want to go from this place to, let's say, 5 kilometers from here. So we get the Uber guy, and then the car has come. Right? And now I think there is repeated feedback in the person's feedback saying, oh, this guy is a very nice guy. However, I think every kilometer he may just have a crash. Only one crash per kilometer. Is that driver okay with you?
No, sir.
Not okay with
Safety
you.
required.
Safety is required. Right? You want to go home or to the place safely. Yes? Okay, great. Excellent. Great. That's nice.
Yes, sir.
Great. You can go back. You can go back. See, what I want you guys to notice here is this, right? See, with each of the, are these business situations, yes or no? Are these business situations, yes or no? Yes. Oh, I think depending based on the number of people who have responded, I think about 80% think it is not. Are these all business situations, yes or no? Yes. No, not business situations. These are all business situations. All right? But you don't want to deal with that person. Why? It's a loss. It is not a loss actually. It is a risk. It's a risk. You don't want to take the risk. You don't want to deal with that individual. And with each of them, you want the person to be more competent. Yes or no? Yes? Then my question to you is, what is your competence? You want others to deal with you, but what is your competence? So that is something to think about. All right? Okay. So I think we will probably close it with one more concept, and then after that we will close it, in the interest of time. All right? So, lot of people make this mistake, that's the reason why I'm telling you this. All right? So, see, I think we are getting recorded, so that's why I'm not taking some names, okay? But see, if you look at the top, let's say 15 startups in India at this point in time, okay? 15 startups, the top ones, the really top ones, you all know their names, so many of them are making thousands of crores of loss. Are you aware of this? Thousands of crores of loss they are accruing each year, okay? And there is a basic concept that is not correct. All right? So let's say, let's take the Ayurvedic guys again, right? So, is it okay if we discuss some of your economics with everyone? Is that fine? They actually made a profit. That's a good thing, guys. They actually made a profit because they don't have 3,500 crores of loss. They have actual profit which these many of the other companies have not made. Is that good or no? It's a good thing, isn't it? Okay, I want to ask you guys, how much did you get each of those packets for, and how much did you sell it for?
We brought for 7 rupees and we sell for 10 rupees.
Okay, you got it for 7 rupees and you sold it for 10 rupees each. Each packet you sold it for 10 rupees. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, excellent, perfect. Please take your seat. Right? So many of them, the economics that they have are something like this. Okay? They buy it for 7 rupees and they sell it for 3 rupees. Okay? They buy it for 7 rupees. I'm just giving you an example. They buy it for 7 rupees, but they sell it for 3 rupees. Will you make a profit or a loss? Loss. You will make a loss. What we just discussed right now are called a unit economics. Means at one unit level, do you make a profit or do you make a loss? Okay? And you have to ensure that at a unit level you have to make a profit. Only then at an aggregate you can make a profit. Clear? Everyone? Alright, great. So, I want you guys to know one thing, alright? You guys know where you are at this point? Huh? We are in auditorium. That's a very good question. Where are you at this point? No. Where are you at this point? School. No. Where are you at this point? Huh? On the chair. No. Where are you at this point? Huh? No. Huh? Maheswaram? No. India. Okay, all right. It's going larger. The margin of error is increasing or decreasing rather. All right. India, yes, that's a good response. But where are you at this point? On Earth? In universe? Okay. So, see, it's like this. So, see, in our country, right? So, I think enough people, if they have not told you yet, right? There was a time when our country used to account for 25% of the world GDP. Okay? What does it mean? Of the overall production, wealth, etc., we accounted for 25%. We, as in India, accounted for 25%. Okay? And all the people used to come to our country to get themselves educated, right? So they could, if they go to India and if they, get educated and go back, they were like premium, right? And so all those people came to our country thinking, oh, I'll go there, I will loot that country and, whatever, so I will get wealth and so on and so forth. You know the history. I think you guys open your history books and you will know what we're talking about, okay? So, and of course we got independence, right? And do you guys know recently we crossed UK as, I think, the 4th largest economy in the world, right? We are now the 4th largest economy in the world. Okay, isn't that great? Right? Round of applause for our country. Right? So people thought, okay, they took away the wealth and people were illiterate and so on and so forth. But after our independence, we stuck on, right? We all, got more healthy, we are getting more and more conscious and so on and so forth. And now we are in we are rising for sure, right? So one of the things that when I was graduating, right, somewhere around that time I was attending a talk just like all of you guys are doing it at this point in time. And they have said something like this. They have said, see, the time has come when all the shackles on the economy were going away and the business environment is becoming very, very friendly. I think the country is going to rise. Somebody has told me this, okay? And it is a fact. In the last 20 years, we have made a great amount of progress, all right? And now also you can see, have you guys seen new roads being built, right? Vande Bharat Express being inaugurated, right? New airports, right? The airport is not far from here, right? You have gone to Hyderabad airport, right? Really good airport, lot of infrastructure is coming up. And again, I want to tell you, this is a great time again, for business. And if you want to do well in life and contribute to everybody else around you, this is a great time to be the age you are at this time. Okay? All right? And time will unravel. We have seen how if you keep your eyes open, right? And if you do good quality work, people can succeed. Yes or no? Yeah. All right. So, at the end, thank you very much for patiently listening to me. I appreciate that. And I wish you all of
Did you all enjoy? Yes. Did you all learn something? Yes. Right? So, this in fact was my project for almost 20 months. Okay. But then, the past 20 days, we ran like anything. Right? And even in the morning today, you people ran, right? Yes. Right? You had a run for almost 1 kilometer. Right? When he was asking me to do all these activities, I was like, what is he doing? Then I realized the need for each and every activity that you people are doing as a part of this program. Isn't it? Right? So, what did you learn from your morning's 1K run? Nothing is free. You have to sweat, and only then something is given to you. Right? And at the same time, when I say something is not free, does it involve only money? No, right? It could be your service. It could be your calories that you burned in the morning. Isn't it? So each and every act, each and every step that you people were involved into is a part of entrepreneurship skills training session. Isn't it? The nut and bolt experiment. Isn't it? And the chair and the toothpick. Right? Each and every act had a great insight behind it. And I'm pleased and thankful to you, sir, for making this event a great thing. Because, see, for a great things to happen, we have to start from a great place. Right? And you made it great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
More than what I have done, you have done it to a maximum extent. I just gave my idea. But the thing is, he has developed this into an activity-based project. Right? I learned a lot from you, sir.
Thank you.
And in fact, we will learn together in the weeks coming. Okay? We'll have different people coming here and giving their perspectives, and I'm expecting one more visit in the near future.
Okay, all right.
Right? So that you will be a part of our judges' curriculum.
Sure. Okay.
Right?
Great.
Thank you so much. And now may I request our General Manager, Mr. Maheswaram Garu, onto the stage. Have a small token of love from us.
Good afternoon, boys. So I hope so that this session is completely, knowledge sharing activity to all our students.
Great, thank you.
And we are fortunate to have today in our campus. And great pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
And happy.
Thank you.
And having many more times.
Hopefully.
And this program, it is completely, we adapted from Rahul sir idea. And he is only sometimes trying to introduce new students, new, guest people to our school students to give some.
I think a round of applause for Rahul.